The moment I saw her phone light up in the dark corner of our bedroom, my world shattered. One name after another flashed on the screen: male friends, colleagues, strangers she pretended didn't exist. And there she was, laughing at their texts, typing back words that once belonged to me. Every notification stabbed me deeper than any blade ever could. Betrayal had a face, and tonight it was hers. The woman I loved, the wife I trusted, was living a double life, and I was about to make sure no one would ever forget it. From the moment I discovered the messages, my mind became a storm of calculated fury. I didn't react immediately. That would have been childish. Instead, I watched. I observed the way she carried herself, how casual she was with her deceit, and how comfortable she had grown lying to my face. Every smile she directed at me was a dagger coated in venom. The first night after the discovery, I lay awake, phone in hand, rereading the texts. Each word was an insult, each emoji a slap. I could feel the fire building, not just inside me, but around me. This wasn't just betrayal, it was war. And in war, hesitation is the deadliest enemy. I began documenting everything. Every text, every call, every laugh she shared with those men. Screenshots became my arsenal, detailed timelines my battle plan. I researched her contacts, her routines, her habits. The more I learned, the more I realized she had underestimated me, as they all had. I had been too blind to see their manipulation, but I would not make that mistake again. Weeks passed, and my life became a mission. At work, at home, I was calm, collected, smiling when she expected me to, all while the engines of my revenge roared beneath the surface. I started leaking subtle hints to the right people, mutual friends, colleagues, even her family. Little nudges here, questions there, enough to sow doubt, but not yet reveal the full truth. Watching her panic when someone commented on a suspicious message while she tried to act innocent, it was intoxicating. I knew I couldn't just expose her alone. The men she'd been texting had to fall too. They had enabled her. Their deceit, their willingness to play a role in my humiliation, deserved ruin as much as hers did. I waited for the right moment, studied their vulnerabilities, and plotted the collapse of their carefully curated facades. Revenge, I realized, was not just about exposing betrayal. It was about annihilating the illusion of control they all had. By the end of the first chapter of this campaign, the first cracks began to show. Subtle rumors, whispered confessions, texts taken out of context and sent anonymously. It was enough to disturb the foundation of her comfortable world. And I felt no remorse. Only the sweet, burning anticipation of justice, my justice. The second stage required precision. I couldn't risk emotion or impulsiveness. I had to strike strategically, like a predator circling its prey. Every contact she trusted became a lever. Every secret I uncovered became ammunition. She started noticing things, of course. The nervous glances, the casual probing questions from friends she thought were loyal, the occasional awkward silence around her colleagues. I watched it all, savoring the growing panic in her eyes. The men weren't prepared either. I had traced digital footprints, recovered deleted conversations, and even created scenarios that forced them to admit their duplicity publicly. The humiliation wasn't immediate. I made it slow, painful, inevitable. Each of them faced subtle sabotage first, missing opportunities at work, rumors that questioned their professionalism, anonymous hints about their personal indiscretions. The panic in their eyes mirrored hers, but mine never wavered. One night, I intercepted a message she was sending to one of them. Instead of confronting her, I forwarded it anonymously to everyone she knew. Within hours, her phone was flooded with angry calls, friends questioning her, colleagues distancing themselves. She screamed, cried, and begged, but there was no one to beg to. I was careful. My fingerprints were hidden behind a wall of indirect exposure. The humiliation had to be total. I watched her crumble over weeks, her reputation collapsing like a house of cards. The men who had once laughed at her texts were now frantically trying to salvage their own lives. Careers were derailed, relationships strained, social standings ruined. And all of it, I orchestrated from the shadows, meticulous, ruthless, unrelenting. There were moments when the darkness consumed me. Friends noticed my obsession, my hollow eyes, my quiet smile when someone whispered a scandal about her. But I didn't care. Revenge was no longer a choice. It was the air I breathed. The world had been unfair to me, and now, I was restoring balance in the only way I knew, through calculated annihilation of the guilty. The climax came on a cold Friday night. She didn't know yet, but the final piece of my plan was ready. A carefully crafted email, sent simultaneously to her, her family, the men she had been texting, and everyone in her social circle, exposed the truth completely. Screenshots, timestamps, conversations, everything laid bare. Her reaction was instantaneous. Panic turned to hysteria, hysteria turned to despair. She tried to call me, scream at me, beg for mercy, but I remained silent. Watching her finally confront the reality she had avoided for so long was intoxicating. And then the men, one by one, started receiving the truth, their carefully constructed lies and reputations collapsing like sandcastles in a storm. The aftermath was chaos. Relationships shattered, social lives destroyed, careers in ruins. People whispered about them, people gossiped, people judged, and they had no one to blame but themselves. I watched from a distance, feeling the icy satisfaction of a plan executed flawlessly. This was justice, not mercy, not reconciliation, not forgiveness. Pure, unadulterated vengeance. Months later, when the dust settled, I walked away unbroken. Scarred, perhaps, but stronger. I had taken what I lost, turned it into a weapon, and struck with precision. The world had learned a brutal lesson. Betrayal might be easy, but the cost of deceit could be catastrophic. And in the end, revenge had proven to be the most powerful force I had ever wielded. Moral of the story: betrayal invites destruction, and those who sow deceit must face the full fury of their own actions.